Well, I mean, it's a massive problem, and there's no doubt that the construction sector is going to have it tough for another few years. And I mean, obviously the tradesmen, many of them work in the construction sector, and you're not going to see a vibrant construction sector for a while. But at least if we had a functioning bank system and the banks were open for business, then at least there would be some progress in that area. Well, I'm convinced that we need to take a different approach other than the neoliberal approach, which unfortunately Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are very closely aligned to. And I'm afraid Labour are not too far away from it either. And we know that since the middle 70s, neoliberalism has been the dominant economic philosophy, where the markets are allowed to dictate, and unfortunately big business becomes before the interests of the ordinary people. I would be much more in favour of the philosophy of Keynes, which was used from the Great Depression up until the 70s, when Milton Friedman's philosophy came to the fore, which was neoliberalism. And under Keynes' philosophy, GDP actually grew at 3% per annum. And it has actually, despite the fact that the markets were going to solve everything from the 70s on, it has actually grown at a smaller rate since then, 1.9% between 73 and 2007. Now, there's little doubt, I mean, Keynes' philosophy was based on stimulus. The state should stimulate the economy by investing in it, and the state should work towards the creation of full employment. Now, that's a very different philosophy to what the neoliberals have to offer, and much more likely to create a fairer society and a strong economy. Of course, the government say now, oh, we've no money to do this, that and the other. But as we well know, that they were able to find money every second month whenever the banks wanted more. So we find money, we borrow money when we need it for different projects, and we could for this too if we had the mindset to do it. I see Osborne, the Chancellor in England, has just done a deal with some private banks in America where they're actually going to come in and they're going to fund new set-up small and medium-sized businesses and manufacturing. And obviously the state will link into it by securing some of the loans, a certain section of the loans. And I mean, that's stimulus, and it makes sense. And we need to start thinking more along those lines, and get away from the neoliberal approach that has left us in the lurch. Well, look, I understand very much where he is. I'm in business myself, and I would be the first to agree that a banking system is vital to any economy. But a proper banking system, a healthy banking system that's working, what we have isn't of importance to our society. We need banks that are vital and healthy and would be a big contribution to our economy. Until we have a healthy banking setup, and our government has obviously chosen to nurse banks which are not in a healthy state back to health at a very, very big cost to the taxpayer. Whereas if we could have nationalised, we could have expanded on PUST, we could have used it, we could have put some money in it and used it as a vehicle to get our money back into the system. We could certainly, I know if some of our banks had disappeared, they'd have been replaced pretty quickly by other banks. There's plenty of foreign banks in the world making money, and people should never forget that banking is a profitable business. Right now, I would not be in agreement with further cuts in the future, and the whole thing is structured wrong. It's not, the people don't need, I don't see, I mean, at the moment, everyone is in such a poor place and everyone is short of money to make ends meet. But the reality is that the people need to be taken care of in a healthy way and not just with handouts. We need better facilities all around, better housing, and we have to create the opportunity for work for them. We've got to have better schooling for them. We need a preschool state system, state preschool schooling, there's a huge level of bad performance from our government when it comes to looking after young people, when it comes to looking after the underprivileged in our society, the less well off. And our government, any government, should be judged about how it looks after its most vulnerable rather than by GDP. We've got the wrong philosophy, and part of my hope, if I get into the Dáil, is that I work towards changing that mindset.